reason I want to talk about The View is because The View happens to be the most watched daytime show in America, of course, specifically, predominantly with women. Cooper, we're going to get to Pac-Man last. This isn't going to be a long show. It's going to be maybe 45 to an hour, but we will get to that. And so I want you all to hear the reaction, because this really is the embodiment of just how disconnected they are. And they tried to see through some of the reality of what's going on here, but even that can't pierce through, especially with Sunny Hostin, who's the worst of the. I mean, Sunny Hostin has superseded even Whoopi and Joy Behar as the biggest blowhards, on that show, which is amazing. And of course, everybody's a racist, sexist, misogynist, and all that shit. There was no wake-up call to that. They kept going with it. So here's what they had to say.
Agree.
All right.
I think that I'd like to reframe the conversation. I think Bernie Sanders is wrong. I think the more relevant question actually is, what is wrong with America? I think what is wrong with our country that the Republican Party would choose as a candidate and support a candidate who is an insurrectionist, who is an election denier, who is someone who is twice impeached, 34-time convicted felon, someone who has been accused of alleged sexual misconduct by.
You see, the thing you're going to have to remember about a person like Sunny Hostin is that she's never going to say any of the things that happened under the watch of Kamala Harris. No, this is all about catnip and how to just continue to thumb the eye of the will of the majority. And let's be clear. Kamala Harris outspent Trump almost 3-1 on this election. I mean, you want to talk about democracy? Yeah, they were really fighting to save democracy. But in reality, all it was is that this is just a personal vendetta against Trump. Sunny Hostin doesn't give a damn about working people. That doesn't even enter her mind. She's trying to do a mea culpa right now, and all it is just talking about how terrible Trump is, not a moment of self-reflection about how bad things are and how Trump ultimately ended up in the White House again. Like I said, I gave them a week to see if they would have any come to Jesus moment. My goodness, they are not only not having that, they're saying that the party doesn't go far enough to the right on all issues, not just Israel. And Sunny Hostin is basically telling you that you're all a bunch of hooligans for not listening to them and doing as you're told.
26 women found liable for sexual abuse. What is wrong with this country that they would choose a message of divisiveness, of xenophobia, of racism, of misogyny over a message of inclusiveness, a message for the people, by the people, of the people? That is what the problem is. It's the Republican Party.
But can I
what's wrong with America?
Something before we can do a second? The Democrats are the ones. They are the party that cares for the blue collar voter. The Democrats are the ones who put in Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, union protection,
ACA,
unemployment insurance, and Obamacare.
So basically, what they want to talk about is stuff that happened between 60 and 80 years ago. That's what they want to talk about. Not the Democratic Party that completely sold out to Wall Street, Silicon Valley, and the military-industrial complex. That cannot be part of the conversation. And the idea that you think Obamacare is good policy is unbelievable. But hell, what a shock. This is what it is. And this is how they try to sell it. And they always sell it in the most condescending way possible. There is no self-reflection. There is no question of, well, maybe these policies aren't so good. Just a thought. Just a thought. Small thought. Just a little taste. Just a little taste. You know, I want to get out of here. I want to get a little something in this Joy Reader, get her to talk about what the real problems are over here. But she ain't talking about none of that. She's talking about the things that she thinks matter to the broads that are watching the show on the daytime TV when I got nothing better to do. That's what I'm talking about. So let's see what else the New Yorker's got to say.
The Republican Party doesn't give a rat's patootie about it.
Clearly they didn't convince the voters.
So all I can deduce is that it's the messaging. It didn't get through to people. They're not paying attention. That's all.
Yeah,
because the Democrats have always been for the working people.
Exactly. And the Republicans don't care about it.
I think the message of the Democrats sounded elitist. You don't have value in the society.
They
if you don't
sounded
have a college
that way,
degree.
but when you look at the proof,
but Joy, it's condescending. It's condescending. There is a
condescending.
The way that the left speaks to its voters. It really is.
A message of joy and inclusiveness?
No, the message of not being educated, being dumb, and what's wrong with America.
Who said that?
Sonny just did.
What is wrong with America?
My point here is that
that's not what Kamala Harris said.
No. My point is, I don't blame Joe Biden. I don't blame Kamala Harris. Go back as far as you want. I blame a messaging within the Democratic Party.
You don't blame the Republican Party
Can I just finish my point, please? I obviously have a problem. Anyone has a problem with Donald Trump. The bigger question should be, yes, Sonny, why did they vote for him?
Yes.
In sweeping.
So they need to be introspective.
No, we need to be introspective. If we voted for Kamala Harris, we need to say what didn't resonate with the voters. Do you know what didn't resonate with the voters? When they were saying we don't feel safe and the left focused on defund the police and bail reform.
Yeah.
When they said we're worrying about. Can I just finish? Let me just finish real quickly. When they were focused on renaming.
It's only an hour show, ladies.
Joy. When they were focused on renaming schools, there were people saying, hey, students are destroying colleges. I paid for that. I sent them there. They can't learn. And everyone apologized for it and didn't want to attend to it. They also denied the border was a crisis and kept saying, no, it's fine. This is not a.
There was a border bill, though. There was a border bill.
Yes, but Joy, my point is they screamed and screamed and screamed. They didn't vote for him because he's a racist or a misogynist. They voted because they needed help in their everyday lives.
But Sarah, they voted.
And so now, and let's be very clear, and there's a reason why I'm playing this, and this will probably be the last time I ever play a clip of The View. I'm only playing it simply because I wanted to see what type of a reaction they were going to give in regards to the election. And it's pretty much on par with what I expected them to say. And so what I see here is an elitist blonde who identifies the problem, but is basically saying, yeah, it's just in the way that you talk about it that isn't good enough. No, it's actually the policy. Kamala Harris's policies were horrifically bad. He was to the right of Trump on almost every consequential issue, especially foreign policy, which is what the chief executive is primarily responsible for anyway. The most lethal fighting force in the world. Oh, that's what we're going to have. Yeah, that's going to sell really well to people that already are on the uptake on what's going on with how we spend money in this country. Or should I say outside this country, because we spend a lot of it. We really do. We have a basically $1 trillion annual budget for defense, but it's not defense. It's imperialism. It's military overreach. And now you do have some people in the GOP that is trying to basically drive the ship for Trump in the right direction. I hope they do. They're talking a good game right now, but you got to walk the walk. Like I said, tomorrow night, we're going to talk about Pompeo and Haley. Obviously, the pressure that the MAGA movement is putting on Trump is very real and it's working. I hope they continue. I hope they stick to their guns. I hope this really is a sort of libertarian takeover, especially on foreign policy of the GOP. That would be wonderful. And anyone who says otherwise is a fool. But the condescension here really speaks to where the liberal class feels. It's kind of like the reactions that you're seeing online when it comes to Gaza. The reaction is, well, you voted for this, so I hope Gaza gets it now. Again, the privilege is real, the condescension is real, and the self-reflection is non-existent. We'll finish this out.
How do you know that?
Because there's every stat coming out on the people willing to self-reflect are showing these.
Oh, wait, they're going to say, I'm a racist and a misogynist in the exit poll?
You really think 74 million people are racist?
Every racist and misogynist voted for Donald Trump. Not everyone.
Are you sure about that? Every racist and misogynist voted for Trump? Are you sure they didn't vote for Kamala Harris? You make such a blanket statement like you actually can speak to how everybody believes. Let me tell you something. In my opinion, the biggest bigots in society, the biggest racists in society are actually liberals. And why do I say that? Because they look down on everybody who isn't them. They see themselves as superior, hence racist or bigoted. That's the meaning. That's what it is. If somebody who's white and doesn't like a black person, but they're on the same playing field in terms of economic opportunity, that doesn't make them a racist. It just makes them an idiot. This is where the real bigotry comes from. Oh, What the hell do they know? They can't pay their bills. They can't do this. Oh, who cares about that? That's not that important. Yeah, it's not important to you because you live a wealthy life. You live in the 1%, and they really live in the 1% of 1%ers. They do. It's not just the money. It's the fame. It's the prestige. It's the open doors to the special places that no one can get to. And they really like to put their point down at the average person, especially Sunny Hostin and Joy Behar. Joy hides it a little bit better. Sunny doesn't hide shit. Like, she really lets it go. And this is, again, a reflection of why they're going to continue to lose, and they're going to lose big.
That voted for Donald Trump was a racist and misogynist.
I agree with that.
Everyone swept. They swept every category, and the reason they did is to say, hey, guys, no excuses this time.
Yeah. Look,
they lost everything.
There's still half the country that doesn't agree with
environment to be ravaged, its children to be shot, its wealth to be hoarded, its worker to be exploited, its poor to starve, its cops to murder.
So you think America's the
country
problem?
in trouble.
So America's the problem, and the
Trump
voters
is not
are
going to make it better.
Anna, hold it for the next segment, right? We'll be right back. Hold it. Yeah.
And like trained seals, they clap. It really is kind of incredible. I am happy, Adam. I can see that you are. I know that you are a very big Trump supporter, and that's great. I'm glad you're happy. Like I said, I, unlike a lot of other people, am going to give him a chance. I will give Trump a chance. I think everybody should. And if he fucks up bad, he's going to get it just like Biden and Harris did. I gave Biden and Harris a chance. And let me tell you, Biden dropped the ball in like the first week. Didn't fight for the PRO Act and said that the parliamentarian would not allow him to pass a $15 minimum wage. Oh, well. And let's not forget how far to the right the party ultimately moved. It wasn't just that they ended up with Liz Cheney and Dick Cheney in the ranks. That was a culmination of everything that they did over the 4-year term. And one more small clip I want to play from that. The following day, even in an attempt to have some degree of reflection, they have nothing. This is exactly, specifically Sunny Hostin, so here's what she had to say.
Finally, we talked a lot about these different demographics and these assumptions of where they're going to go. Latinos in Texas, a district that's 97% Latino, went 75 percentage points for Donald Trump. Why?
Misogyny.
It's on the border.
It's
the border
misogyny.
crisis.
I'm glad that Sunny Hostin is the spokesperson for the Democratic Party. One of several. Keep speaking. Please do, because the party can't die fast enough. You are allowing the nosedive. You know, they say that in politics, if you're a Republican, it's death by a nosedive. If you're a Democrat, it's death by 1,000 paper cuts. I don't know. I think Sonny's doing a great job of accelerating the demise as quickly as possible. So rip off that Band-Aid, baby. Rip it off. Telling Hispanics that live on the border that it's not because of economics or safety from Mexico, it's misogyny. That's the reason.
Was on their doorstep. And they were begging people to care about it for years. We need to take some lessons.
That's what that was.
The lessons are not
Knock, knock. Who's there? Oh, my gosh, it's Whoopi.
Yes, Queen. That's what they're thinking. But like I said, don't forget who watches these particular shows, this particular show. The very people that are, in many ways, the funders of the Democratic Party.